Welcome to this week's Down Home with Tina, and I'm really excited because this week I am bringing not sand, but some of the beach to you because it is just that time of year, the dead of winter, and I know that Corey Schoonover, he is the Executive Director of the Fairfield Area Humane Society, and Corey, you like warm weather just like I do, don't you?
It is preferred, yes.
So how are you hanging in there this year, man?
Well, I got a pair of pants on underneath my pants.
You do?
So, yeah, I'm hanging in there.
What do you have any place in your house that's kind of like your beachy place, or no, not so much? Or man cave, I should say that.
No, not for this time of year.
Do you ever get back to the beach, or the warmer weather at this time? Because I know you used to have family that lived down south, right? And now they're not there.
Well, my sister moved back, and I still have aunt and uncle and cousin. I don't find the time to take vacation. That sounds terrible, but I don't. The warm weather is a dream of mine. Yeah. But I can't go anywhere.
The last couple of times I've actually been to the beach, if this helps you at all, it has been quite chilly. And I, of course, always take my shorts. I haven't had shorts on for the last 2 times that I've been down. And I'm talking about Florida Beach. Yeah. I'm not talking about North Carolina's because it's still kind of cold at this time of year. Yeah. But I thought that it would just be really, one of those things just to share with folks. And I'm going to talk a little bit more later, Tina's tips on the beach. But I wanted to talk a little bit about the decor. This here that I have here is, I say, heaven is a little closer by the water, just because it's peaceful to me, Corey. I think it's nice, and I love to have the warmth when I'm at the beach, but hey, you know what, if I just at least have the sound of the beach and my feet in the sand, and these seashells, all the seashells I have in this glass jar have been found by me. Recent trip to the beach, do you know what I did? I walked the pier and I saw this seashell, and I think that it was deceiving by the size of it, because I actually went in, clothes and all. Actually, I was wearing what I have on to get the shell out, and it was pretty funny because who was with me was cracking up laughing. I actually looked up and I go, because I was like, God didn't bring me any sunshine or anything, so he's bringing me a real seashell. And so, yeah, that was
I'm always concerned. Like, okay, I'm gonna, like this time of year, I'm going to spend the money and the time and effort and escape to Florida. And my concern is this gloominess follows me. And then I'd be a little disappointed. I don't know. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and it did happen. Because it seemed like every time I would go away from, and Navarre Beach is one of my favorite beaches. And I just wanted to just share with folks, just again, watch the tips, because here at the end of the show I'm going to share some tips on what you might want to keep in mind in the time of year that you go, because you got to pay attention to where it is. Even the Gulf Coast in Florida, it can be, gloomy, and then you drive maybe half an hour over and you don't plan for the beach over there at that beach, and the sun's shining. I was like, seriously, are you kidding me? But so today I have my beach stuff on, and I'll talk a little bit more later about a picture that I have here. That this was framed here in Lancaster, but it was a picture that I purchased from the beach. So much more with Corey. He is here with me from the Fairfield Area Humane Society. He's got this look that I don't know how I feel about this look.
Say about the beach.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying I wasn't prepared to talk beach. I'm in 50 Shades of Grey over here. All gloomy and matching. I would have worn something a little brighter. So
I didn't want you to scare the animals, if that's because you never know when or the public, because you never know when you got to go out on a call. We're going to come back. We're going to talk maybe a little bit more about the beach to see what Corey's got to say. You're watching Down Home with Tina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I've got Corey Schoonover with me. He is the Executive Director of the Fairfield Area Humane Society. And Corey is somebody who I've known now. Corey, I just thought about it, almost 11 years.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
I appreciate you tolerating me for that long.
And same back at you, man.
It's true love.
What's really fun. True friendship.
True love.
When you know that's right. That's hilarious. So, you wanted to say something about the beach, I thought, before we took our break.
Talking about the beach, and I haven't really gone on a true vacation for so long. My mom and I were talking about it a couple weeks ago. It's been like 14 years since I've made it back to Florida. It's a long time.
You have to be careful. I'm just going to say, give one of my tips now, which part of it that you choose, because when I had a place down there, a couple years ago, the red tide came in. But where I've recently gone and visited, I've visited a couple of times before, same water, clear, beautiful, just beautiful. But yeah, it's just, I recommend it. Just again, and I'll get to that. But we're here to talk about the Humane Society. What have you been up to? What's been going on?
Whew.
You always have stuff. This is why you don't take a vacation, is because you've always got a new idea and you've got a project or ideas and projects going on at the Humane Society. But it's a new year, 2021. So compared to what happened last year, and even the years before, had it really had an effect on you guys adopting out the animals at the Humane Society, or was it better because people were home and they were finding time to be with their new furry family member?
I really struggled. It was a struggle. I am conscious of my environment, everyone around me, happy things, bad things, and 2020 was hard because we had such a great year, not just adoptions, but everything else. But it was really tampered down because you don't want to, not like, you want to bring happy things to people. So like on our Facebook page, we're posting the adoption photos, but you almost I didn't want to feel like I was rubbing it in. Does that make sense? I don't think people would have taken it that way, but we had we were the nonprofit of the year. We set huge adoption records. We were affected an opposite way, and I didn't want that to be
you probably you didn't want to take away the things that folks were going through, like you didn't have empathy for what they were going through.
Right.
But at the same time, you try to stay positive. Welcome to the Down Home with Tina show. Really, that is something that I try to do, because it can just bring you down and get you in a place that you don't really want to be in. It's really tough to get out of. So let's help those folks who are in that place get out of that place if they are, and bring a little bit of joy and hopefully, sunshine to their world. I love that.
Line, right?
Yeah.
I just wasn't, and I hoped all of our addition. We adopted almost 1,300 cats and kittens and dogs and puppies, and I hope that those adoption photos kind of brought joy to each day. But we have. I sat. You mentioned like I don't have time to take a vacation because I always have something going on, and we had our board meeting last week before, and it seems like I tell them every year, like, I'll probably sit on my hands a little bit next year. Like, I got nothing new going on. 2021 is not that year. We have big plans.
Any you can announce, or not quite yet?
I'm gonna throw it all out there.
Go for it, man.
Every couple years it seems like I'm doing an expansion, adding something on. This year we're doing 2 expansions at once. We're actually going to be adding a puppy wing for like secure isolation of our puppies, and we're actually adding on to the vet clinic and our grooming area.
Okay.
Which is crazy.
And the puppy area, that's going to be where public cannot go?
Correct. It's going
That's
to be
the isolation part of it.
Yeah, so we have our quarantine building in the back, and that's usually where we have puppies, or we have dogs being treated for heartworm, or we have cruelty cases, things like that. Right?
You'll keep it that.
Yeah, so it'll stay that, and then the puppies are going to transfer over to the puppy wing, which is like more isolated.
Yes, safer then.
Yeah, to the point where not even all of our staff will go in there. So it'll be 1 or 2 dedicated staff members to that, and make it more of a hospitalization type of situation. Because you're familiar with our quarantine building, so where they all are right now, we still have laundry going on and dishes and things like that.
The babies are going to be in the baby nursery like a hospital, but these are puppies in the puppy nursery is what it'll be.
Yeah, so it'll be a much more calm environment for nursing moms,
That's
things like that.
cool,
right?
Corey.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How many bays, or what do you call them, or kennels will you have for them?
So there will be, this is the other cool thing, so there will actually be 12 kennels, but there'll be, right now there's indoor-outdoor access. There won't be indoor-outdoor access. There will be kennel-to-kennel access, so we can actually... so we're not transferring puppies out of kennels and stuff. There would be the door in between a set of 2. So you just, we shuffle them over to one side to clean one side. So they're not actually being handled as much as we currently have to handle them now. So then there would actually be a separate room with hospital isolation in case in case we bring in sick puppies or something like that. So
I think that's great.
And what it does is it really makes it a little more efficient and saves them from potentially cross-contamination and keeps them healthier, and we move them out faster. So
you have so much always happening over at the Humane Society. When do you think that this is all going to be taking place and all finished up and ready to go?
So we're starting construction in February.
I've heard that a few times.
I'm going to go with, because construction always happens in February. Then I'm standing outside in this cold weather more, wondering why I'm not at the beach. And then I'm like, oh, well, my idea, that's what happens.
This is my beach.
Yeah, this is the beach.
New project.
I'm gonna, at some point, just going to need to add sand somewhere. I always have we have a little baby pool. Like if you happen to see me in the dog park in a baby pool, I lost my mind. I grabbed a bag of sand. That's where I am.
If we have a parade this year, and if you see Corey on a float with sand and a baby pool, you know he's brought the beach.
Then I'm showing everyone. You're all invited to Corey's beach, because that's the only way I'm getting there. But so we're doing that puppy wing, and then we're actually going to. Before we even do the expansion in the clinic, right now we operate our vet wellness clinic 2 days a week. We are bumping that to 4 days a week.
Very cool.
Because we'll have a full-time vet now. So I've been in the process of doing some interviews. We got to kind of expand our staff.
Grooming.
We're
how many do you have in grooming? I know.
We have 2 full-time groomers.
How many more are you getting, man? Because every time and I don't know why I'm calling you man today, but I'm calling you man. Maybe it's the beach. Dude. Maybe it's the dude.
We've already hired one. Yeah, where's the suntan lotion? I should just start waving my hair.
Tan.
I should wave my hair all over the place. Can we do like slow motion? I come out of the water with this thing going on? No?
I should have brought my spray bottle and spray. Oh, Corey.
Then my alter ego Bob takes over.
That's right.
That's what would happen. So we've already hired one more full-time groomer that starts in February. So that clinic grooming expansion will give them a little room. Until that's done, they're kind of going to trip over each other. Yeah. But the demand for our services is, I mean, it's low-cost services, and I think it really worked out. It works out well for everyone, but I think this pandemic that we're navigating through, it really helps. Like we haven't seen an influx of people turning in their animals, because they can come to us and like, you know what? We can still get the services done, take care of our pets, and still be able to afford that, and that's been the goal the whole time.
Yep. Fairhumane.org is the website. Also follow Corey and the Fairfield Area Humane Society on Facebook. Really awesome place, folks. Yeah, again, fairhumane.org. I know they've got animals up there. They change so often. They get them adopted out. I didn't even find out how many he has, but you just got to pay attention because he's always bringing in other animals. And that's what's so cool about our Humane Society. They help out other counties in getting these animals forever homes. So you're watching Down Him with Tina, and I'm going to be back in just a couple of minutes.
Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers and our community, we go above and beyond to help. Our people make the difference.
We were retiring from Tucson, Arizona, and we made a retirement trip out around Ohio, having decided that's where we wanted to be. And we came across this town called Lancaster, and we fell in love with the downtown area where the fountain is and the memorials and the flags and all this stuff. And I looked around and I said, there's our bank right there.
There's something to be said about a community bank in your hometown.
Right. If you live in the community, you should do business in the community as much as possible. So it makes sense to bank with the community bank where you live.
Fairfield Federal is the bank to be at. If you live in this town, or any town actually, you want a bank at a local home bank. And the employees are happy here, they're conversant, customer service is through the roof. There's nothing more you could ask for.
Personal or business banking, whatever you need, we take it seriously because we know you do. Stop by today at any of our 3 locations and see why the difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome back to Down Home with Tina. I now get to highlight a first responder, and my first responder, it is brought to you by Bay Food Market. Thanks to all those folks over there and them being an essential and through all of this have always been there to feed us. There'd be a place for us to go. But yes, and I've got Detective Ernie King from the Lancaster Police Department. He is with me and we're going to find out all about him. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, and I know I didn't warn you, but it's beach day today, so I didn't expect to come in with your beach ball anyways and in your surfer shorts or anything.
Right.
I like to think at this time of year of warmth and how can we bring sunshine to Ohio?
Yes, it would be nice.
But thank you for so much of what you do for the city of Lancaster. And I know before we get started, y'all had a levy that passed, and that was so very exciting because now it is just a safer, it is a safe place in Lancaster, but even safer because you all can continue to grow.
Yes. No, we would like to say thank you to the citizens of Lancaster for passing the levy. It was really important. It helps us with our response times, both the police department and fire department. So we'd like to say thank you very much to them. It was really important, it was needed, and hopefully once again we'll be able to serve the citizens of Lancaster a lot better.
Detective King, I went out on a ride along for one of the shifts, and it was, you all are busy non-stop.
Yes,
and
very busy.
I mean, just being there firsthand, witnessing and seeing all of the calls that you're getting, and there are certain ones to prioritize because I know you all wish you could be at every single one of them when they all come in, but you can't be. So you have to take the time just with what you can and get there and do. Yeah.
And it's tough sometimes for the public to see that. Mm-hmm. I mean, because calls are prioritized and emergency calls. Life-threatening situations, stuff like that. So they're going to take priority. Whereas, if it's a theft that occurred a couple days ago or something like that, you might wait a long time, but rest assured, somebody's going to come. It's just not going to be as quick as some people would like.
Correct. And I'll be honest, something that surprised me, I don't know why I'd never thought that the police were the ones who would go out on the calls, but somebody who threatens to attempt suicide, yes. You guys are the ones that you go out. Do you investigate? Is that how that goes? So, in order to find out, what's going on, and because that's high priority, is it not?
Yeah. So as the Detective Bureau, what we do is we We handle a majority of the felony cases. After a responding officer takes the report, it goes to a supervisor, and then they will basically assign it to a detective. But our roles are, suicides, homicide, robbery.
And it can happen all at once.
It can happen, yes.
All at once, too,
Yes.
sometimes. And you're just kind of like, yeah. So I don't know. I've always appreciated what law enforcement does for our community. But I also just wanted to find out and share with folks, because you're a detective in the
Yes.
Lancaster Police Department. Do you apply for that job and right off out of, I know that you've got to go through schooling and stuff, law enforcement, or is it something that you work your way up to? You become a police officer and then you work up into the detective position?
So yes, as far as becoming a detective, you're a patrol officer on the street, and they will put out basically that they're accepting applications within our police department, and then a pool of candidates will apply. And then from there, you're interviewed, and then the deputy chief and the chief of police ultimately select who's going to become a detective.
Why did you decide to become a police officer in the first place?
So prior to working at the Lancaster Police Department, I was a dispatcher with the High State Highway Patrol.
Really?
A very good friend of mine that works out there as a sergeant, he encouraged me, and from there I applied at Lancaster. And ultimately, when I was selected, I went to the Ohio State Highway Patrol Academy and graduated from there, and then was assigned to 3rd Watch as a patrol officer with Lancaster, and then ultimately became a detective.
Do you recommend those who are interested in becoming an officer of any type to try dispatching first? Just to kind of get, my goodness, you're right in it.
Well, I think,
I know you're dispatching it, but you're hearing everything that's going on.
Yes, dispatchers are very, their importance is underrated. They're fabulous people. They have a lot of patience.
Oh, yeah.
It is a very, very, very difficult job.
I'm sure.
It is, because one, you don't have that face-to-face contact that a lot of patrol officers do when you meet people. So you're getting everything on the phone.
Right.
And in order to calm somebody down in a stressful situation, it's hard when you can only verbalize over a phone and you're not seeing a face. So they're very important.
Yeah, because you got to like get it out of them and communicate with them the right words of who that person might be and how they may understand with what they're trying to ask, and that's big. That's
yes, they're our lifeline as far as
yes,
they
exactly.
are. Very
Why'd you
important.
decide to be a detective and try for that position?
It's very interesting. It's a tough job. You have to be willing to self-initiate a lot of things, and you got to be able to think outside the box. So, it's just a lot of things that I really enjoyed. I wanted to try, and it's worked out very well. I've been back there for almost 2 years now in the bureau, and I enjoy every day. I love going to work.
How many years altogether have you been in police?
So I'm going on my 5th year with the Lancaster Police Department, so it'd be my 2nd year in the bureau, and prior to that, when I was at the Highway Patrol, I was there for a little over 6 years.
Very nice. You all hiring right now, aren't you?
We are hiring right now. We have a test coming up. Actually, the deadline to apply for the test was at noon today. So hopefully we get a lot of candidates that apply and take the test and want to join our team.
That's right. Awesome team. I love Chief Pilar. He's such a great guy. I have you here also, Detective King, to highlight you as a first responder. And with that being said, I've got some certificates for you. So I've got Walker Shoes certificate.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Ava Jewelers for you, or for somebody that, holidays coming up. Some people do gifts and some won't.
Right.
And then also Ireland Spa and Salon. So.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you so much for everything that you do for our community and continue to do. And folks, just if you see a police officer, just tell them thank you and let them know how important that they are in our community, because they are what keeps us a lot more safer. I'm Tina Thompson with Down Home with Tina, and I'm going to be back in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to talk with you. We're going to bring a little more sunshine with some beach tips from Tina. Be back in just a second.
Dagger Law has been part of the Lancaster community for more than 110 years. This is where we live and work. You'll see us at festivals, sporting events, and all around town. We consider our clients as friends, and we walk alongside you through challenging times. Whether you're a growing business, a changing family, facing litigation, planning your future, or dealing with land issues, we're right here. We are local. We are trusted. We are experienced. Dagger Law.
It's Down Him with Tina, and Down Him with Tina, the show is brought to you by some really wonderful sponsors. Huddle Tire Company in Lancaster, also Walker Shoe Center, Ireland Spa and Salon, Ava Jewelers, and the Fairfield Area Humane Society. I hope that you get to visit one of those folks in the community just to continue to support them, because they are local businesses and they are why I get to have first responders on the show. I highlight veterans from time to time. Also teachers, which I'm going to have a teacher coming up here in the next couple of weeks as well. And those folks is what just helps to make this place, I think, a better and safer place to live. And I can't talk enough about what our teachers do for us, also for our kiddos. And speaking of kiddos, you know, this today theme was beach theme, and that's why I've got my beach pants on. I've purchased a couple of pairs of beach pants in the past, and every now and again when I've gone to the beach, I have found that I really needed to have not just my beach pants, but also my jacket. And that's why, folks, I wanted to just give you some tips about the beach. Now, sometimes we want to go to the beach, we want to go on a budget. Most people will already have that figured out before they go. And when you schedule for your beach, because now is about the time that folks will start to schedule for this year's vacation, that budget, it can really depend on what time you want to go and how much you want to spend. If you want to go during the prime season, which I don't know the exact dates, but I want to say it starts around the end of April, May, all the way through August. Now, I also know hurricane season begins in August, but if you go back or go down to the beach and plan it right after the kids get back in school, then it typically is a lot cheaper, but you're also going to try to figure out, you know, what kind of weather you want to have. I've taken a couple of trips to Florida during the winter time before, and it's not so warm down there. As a matter of fact, the one time I went, actually, there was frost. I don't know how you say frost in the sand because it's so sandy down there, but the grass that they have, there is some frost down there. It was that cold. So you want to just pay attention and make sure that the time of year that you're going to go, that you do take the appropriate clothing. Both times I did take my bathing suit, just because going to the beach in Florida, of course, you take your bathing suit, right? Yeah, no, wasn't the case at all. But also some of the things, if you're traveling to the beach and you're going to drive down with your kids, also make sure, the best thing to do is do a little like package for them, even if you wanted to box it and put their name on it. And if you have snacks, put their name on every snack bag, because if you have more than one child, they can get mixed up, and so is going to be an argument, and then, you know, 5 hours into the trip, and then there's a whole lot of noise in the back seat. You don't want to have to do that. So those are just a couple of little tips to give you on that. Something else for today that I wanted to share with you is I wanted to talk about beach decor. This is something that's really, really, I thought cool. I went to the beach because I love to go so often, and I purchased a picture, and it was just the picture itself. Well, I brought it back here to Lancaster, and at the frame shop, I got with Cindy and Steve, and they helped me to pick out a frame, and now I have this in my house. The color that you see here is more of like the beachy color, but you can actually make it part of your decor if you want to. And I do have what it says in the picture, and this is going to be my positive message. A little step may be the beginning of a great journey. And just don't forget, folks, you've always got to just take that first step. No matter how big it is, it could be one of the greatest journeys, because it is your journey. So why not make it the greatest? So anyways, folks, if you decide to go to the beach, just pay attention on the time. Oh yeah, one more Tina's tip. And this might be the best tip probably of the day. If you don't want to deal with any of it, you just call yourself up a travel agent, and then they'll take care of the details for you, and they can answer so many questions. Sally Sutter, she is with the Mermaids. So I want to thank you so much for being with me. Have a great week. It's Down Home with Tina.